Hello and welcome back to another video today here again on Gran Turismo 7 to take a very first look at update 34, all of the new bits that come with it, including 3 new vehicles, and this is the first video I've actually shot on this game since Gran Turismo 7 turned 2 years old earlier this week. The 3 cars that come as a part of this update are the Audi TTS Coupe, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 9 MR GSR, and the Renault R4 GTL. So as well as the 3 new cars, there are 20 new Scapes locations set in the Pyrenees, and if we come into the cafe and go to extra menus and scroll all the way down to the bottom, there is a new Lamborghini themed menu. The Audi TT Coupe is available from Brand Central for 68,000 credits and comes in 12 colours. The red, the orange, the yellow, the blue, a darker blue, lots of blacks and greys and silvers and very boring things, so I'm going to go with the bright orange. No doubt it's a very good car, I just don't think it's a very interesting car. It produces 268 horses and weighs 1,415 kilos and is all-wheel drive, as I think we all know by now. So this Audi TT, thankfully, despite being quite boring from standard, had some insane customization options, as you can probably see. So first of all, there's the usual wide body, which just about everything has here in Gran Turismo, which sort of just pulls out the existing arches slightly. So then I've gone and given it some wheels that are slightly wider fitment to fill those arches. Then in custom parts, there are a couple of front splitters, so I've gone for the most aggressive one. Same with the side skirts. And with the rear, I actually went with Type A, because I feel like it has more bits on it, which is always more good. And this wing, Type B, is quite insane. There's also the sort of Audi official wing, Type A, and of course the custom wings. But yeah, I think Type B, given quite how different it is pretty incredible. I have, of course, also given it some bonnet pins, a Type A tow hook, the full roll cage, and I've changed the lights to be super cool and removed the front plate, which left a sort of horrible plinth on it, but thankfully there are some custom front grills here. There's the horrible plinth on the standard parts. Type A just removes a badge. Type B, I think, looks incredible, and then there's this monstrosity as well. So yeah, please don't put that on your car. Which leaves us with the paint colour. So I've filtered by the Audi colours that I already own, including Brilliant Rot, which I think means Brilliant Red, Papaya Orange, which is basically what it was, Goodwood Pearl Green, which I think looks kind of cool, although not necessarily on this car, Berry Pearl Effect, which I think I might go with, and Venetian Violet Pearl Effect. Berry Pearl it is. So over in the upgrade shop, there is no option for an ultra high RPM turbocharger if you wanted massive power out of this, and there were no engine swaps when I looked in GT Auto. There are a few bits available in this Ultimate tab, but I've gone for a fairly slow build on this, if you like. I haven't gone completely insane, so I've not taken anything from racing or semi-racing. What I have done is basically done everything from sports and club sports. So first of all, I gave it sports suspension to get it to sit a bit lower, because there was quite a gap between the wheels and the arches. Given it a limited slip diff, some sports brakes, clutches, camshafts, and bits like that, and a sports transmission. And also a computer filter, silencer, and pads, of course, and I put it on some softer tyres, so it's now at 570.94 performance points. So, with cars in Gran Turismo, I'm not planning to kind of race them in any events, because often if you tune them up too high, they're not eligible anymore, so I'm just trying to kind of make it a nice car to drive. You can see we now have 323 horsepower, and, well, we still weigh the same, 1,415 kilos. To be honest, driving the Audi here, it didn't feel much different to before. I know I only put on a minimal kind of street set of upgrades, but apart from the different gear ratios and a slightly more crackly exhaust, it didn't really feel all that different in terms of actual driving characteristics. The Mitsubishi Evo IX is also available from Brand Central for a very round 100,000 credits, and is available in 4 colours: the red, the grey, and the white. So I think we're going to have to go red, although usually I paint them blue just to annoy Evo and Subaru fans. This is the most powerful car in Update 34, producing 277 horses, but it is also the heaviest, weighing in at 1,420 kilos, making it only 5 kilos more than the Audi though. Despite this weight, you can really feel the power and all-wheel drive propel it out of the corners, and that combined with the sound of the turbochargers, particularly here in Gran Turismo, make it feel incredibly fast. Probably more feels faster than it actually is, although no doubt the Evo is a fast car. This kind of amplifies that. And honestly, I didn't realise that we didn't have an Evo 9 in Gran Turismo 7. Maybe because we have several other Evos, or maybe because other games do have this Evo. Either way, it's the car that certainly deserves a place in here and should be in-game, and it's good to see it back. So the Evo was also available with a wide body, although as you can see, it's quite insane. It's not just sort of extended the existing arches like the one on the Audi. I have then also gone and given it some BBS wheels, which are actually very similar to the BBS wheels it had from standard, but allowed me to bring the track width and stuff out. It does still need some suspension to get it sitting a bit nicer. I've given it, to go with the insane body kit, I've gone a bit mad with these upgrades as well. Again, Type B is the most aggressive on the front, so I've done that. Same with the side, I've gone with the one that has the fin at the front. And the same with the rear, I've gone for the most extreme diffuser. And I've gone for a custom wing set, giving it the highest rear thing, although I think we need even more aggressive end plates. I think we should put those on. Perfect. Then I've of course given it bonnet pins and a tow hook, as we're going for a sort of racing look, and a full roll cage, as well as fitting it with the super cool bulbs, as I usually do. A number plate on the rear only, Type B, and again with the grille I've debadged it and put the funny little vent thing in the side, which presumably goes straight into the intake or something like that. Again, in the upgrade shop there aren't loads of options. There's no ultra high RPM turbocharger, for example, so I haven't gone entirely mad with this. I've not put anything on from this tab, in fact. From the extreme I've just done carbon ceramics so I can paint them, but as this is even more aggressive looking than the Audi, I thought we had to go with that, with the upgrades, fitting it with anti-lag and a whole host of power increasing upgrades, as well as the brake pads of course to go with the discs, some fully customizable suspension, transmission, and some soft tyres. Again, I've gone with some more bits that increase power, including the high RPM turbocharger, which means we're now at 525 horsepower, and I've also put all 3 stages of weight reduction on, bringing weight down to 1,107 kilos. So this thing's probably going to be quite mad now. And the Evo was absolutely insane. It was that same feeling of it absolutely propelling you out of corners, except with that much more power, making it even more extreme. And with the anti-lag popping away and all of the aero and wings and everything all over it, it looks pretty incredible out here at night on the Tokyo Expressway as well. Both of those cars are also available in the used car dealer, the TT and the Evo, for slightly less than you pay in the dealership, but I did already know that before I went and bought them from Brand Central. I just wanted to choose the spec of them, although the Audi in here is the same colour as I chose anyway. But if you want to save a bit of money, they are here in the used car dealer, and so is the third car from the update, the Renault R4. So let's buy that for the rather reasonable 24,400 credits. It's by far the smallest car here, and the least powerful, putting out only 33 horses, which is also quite an unfortunate number, but weighing just 720 kilos, which is about half of either of the other 2 cars. It's of course the Renault R4 GTL. And honestly, out of the 3, I probably find this the most interesting, although I do also quite like that Evo. Even if the little Renault is dismally slow, making it not exactly the most exciting thing to drive, although through this corner it was quite terrifying. The Renault 4 is, according to Gran Turismo, the world's first ever hatchback, and has been in production from 1961 right up until the early 90s, with well over 8 million of them being produced during that time. So again, as with the other two, and almost everything in Gran Turismo, it has a wide body. This one has a sort of bolt-on plastic wide body, so I've again gone and put in some wider wheels, wider track width and offset, and given it some aftermarket wheels. As you can see though, that's not all I've done. There are many other parts on this which have turned it into a little rally car, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So at the front we've got a bumper removal and the rally lights. Then on the side, basically you remove that side piece. At the back you can remove the bumper or remove the bumper and fit the kind of metal bar and mud flaps, which looks incredible. There's a wing or not wing, I wasn't quite sure on this one, but it looks a bit empty without it. Then racing items, not only is the normal bonnet pins, but there's bonnet straps, which I absolutely love they do on some of the classic cars in this game. And given we're making it into a rally car sort of by accident, I didn't really mean to, I put a roll cage in it as well. Then the lights, I would have gone on super cool, but the spotlights that I added on the front don't change, so I've changed the main headlights to also be yellow to match those. The number plate, I've gone with a rear-only Type B, which I think is an improvement. And again, there were front grille options, so in terms of visual mods, this is quite impressive. I've gone for that one rather than the one that sort of completely removes the mesh from the middle. So as it turns out, I didn't actually own any Renault colours already in this game, so I've bought a couple. I've bought Flame Red and Yellow, because I think that looks incredible. It's got to be yellow, hasn't it? Although unfortunately I think it's painted more of it. I kind of wanted the wide body to be black. Please say I could. Yes! Oh wow, we can do the wide body and the door handles in a different colour. I think it's got to be black, otherwise it's a bit too much. So let's do that. There we go. The little bumblebee is finished. Though, slightly unsurprisingly, the ultra-high RPM turbocharger also isn't available for the Renault. This doesn't have any engine swaps either, or the Evo, by the way, so it's a rather disappointing update in terms of that. But I kind of wanted to turn it into a rally car, so I bought some snow tyres and dirt tyres, but I kind of messed up the power upgrades. I had in mind that I wanted 100 horsepower, and I thought I could kind of do that with some of the sports and club sports bits, but I required a lot more than I thought, including fitting a turbocharger and many other things. So I ended up buying a lot of the same upgrades, but better in the different tabs, as I often do in Gran Turismo, but it now has that over 100 horsepower, 102, and still weighs 720 kilos, so hopefully it'll be a good little, or fun at least, little rally car now. I'm super pleased with how this thing's turned out, and, well, how all three of them look actually after their mods. Lots of pretty cool options here on these, visually at least. Like I say, no engine swaps is a little bit disappointing. And the little Renault did turn out to be immense fun on this little rally stage. Felt like it had just the right amount of power, slid around a little bit, but yeah, I really enjoyed driving this thing here. And isn't it just the cutest, best looking little rally car you've ever seen? I really think this is incredible. I just love how this little thing's turned out. And that is going to do it for a very first look at the latest update here on Gran Turismo 7, focusing of course on those 3 new vehicles. It's a pretty good update, I think, despite not having loads in it. What is in there is of good quality, I think. There's some nice new scapes locations, which do look pretty incredible, actually. Had some fun playing about with those off camera. There's of course the usual menu book. There's not a new track or anything like that, and there are only 3 new vehicles, but I think that's kind of pretty standard now. And the 3 that they've put in, although from standard don't seem amazing, have some pretty cool customization options. Yes, they have no engine swaps, any of them, but the visual mods are really cool on the Audi, the Evo, and the Renault, actually. But I'm particularly pleased with how this little Renault has turned out after our modifications and visual mods and stuff at the end of today's video. That, though, is going to be all. Do let me know what you think of this update, And, well, can you quite believe that Gran Turismo's 2 years old? I can't really believe that this game's 2 years old. But anyway, for today's video, that is going to be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.